Hi, I'm Jill Wignall. This is the Slow Stitch Sew Along. We've been learning lots of different stitches, and this week we are going to learn feather stitch. And it's a nice stitch to have a play with, experiment with, and see what you can do with it. Use it to decorate over satin stitch or decorate around the edge of a picture. Have a try, see what you can come up with, and I'd love to see your pictures. So we'll start with the first basic way. Come up. You're going to use the skills that you learnt doing chain stitch. In chain stitch you go back down through the same hole. With feather stitch you go down away from the hole. Like in chain stitch, you come down, creating a bit of a Y or a U, and then come up like you would in chain stitch if that was your loop, and then you're ready for your next stitch. Down, up, and pull. And then you're putting your next stitch. You don't have to do this because I don't really believe in perfect neat stitches, but you can, if you want it to be in a line or parallel to each other, then you can make sure that your stitches line up at the edges. And a quicker way of doing it, rather than going down and then coming up, which creates two steps, a quicker way is to go down and then come up yourself. It's a little bit trickier to control where your needle goes then, if you're worried about it being neat and perfect. And there you go. I'll just show you that again. You go down, up in one motion, and pull the thread through. I'll show you again. Down and up. Oops. And pull the thread through. And that is your basic feather stitch. I'm just going to finish it by going down just on the other side of that U. I'll turn it over and I'll either thread my needle through the stitches or tie a quick little knot. And then snip at the back. I'm going to show you another way to do feather stitch. This would be a good border. You come up, do your loop, and then instead of just coming up in between the two top points, you come up directly underneath the one on your left. That's what you do on your first stitch. Then your next one will come, you'll create your loop here. So you'll go down where your right hand side was, you'll come up in line with that side, in line with the right side, and pull. So when you do your next loop, you go down on the left side, and when you're coming up, remember, just think about where your thread is going to go, because really what we're doing here is making little triangles that create a border or a line. And there's your next stitch. So the next stitch will go down here and then we'll come up here so that we create that triangle shape. Go down, and when you go down it doesn't have to be on the other side of the stitch, it can just be close to it or in the same hole. Come up, think about where your thread is going to be. You can even move it yourself to check that it's going the way you want it to. Sometimes the stitches get a little bit stuck and I just gently check that they're not pulling or snagging. And then the same way I finished the other feather stitch, I'm just going down over to almost couch that on. There we go. I'll finish it the same way.